Welcome to Toy Business Unboxed, your gateway to the secrets of the toy industry. Here, Hsieh, a toy entrepreneur and expert in the field.
Every product we develop is really inspired by some of the real life experience that we have with our son.
60% of all toys last year were sold on Amazon, which is incredible.
Be passionate about it because it's a road, it's a journey.
Like when you have an idea that you think is like gonna somewhat change the world, make things better, I'd say go for it.
We'll guide you through the enchanting world of toy design, marketing, and manufacturing. Now let the unboxing begin.
Welcome back to another episode of Toy Business Unboxed. I'm your host, Hsieh. Today, we're joined by Andrew and Thane, the duo behind Our Family Games and the creator of Herdvana. What has started as a household rule and laughter around the dinner table really grew into a Kickstarter hit, fully funded on the day one and backed by nearly 600 supporters. Their journey has been very interesting. In today's discussion, we'll be kind of talking about how they get to where they are right now and some of the story behind it. Thank you so much for joining us on the show today.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Jason.
Thanks for having us here.
So can you take us kind of back to the origin? Like what kind of started everything of like creating the games and doing all the Kickstarter campaign and actually starting a publishing company?
Sure. I'll start from the very beginning, which is just, family game night type things. It was like a New Year's Day. I think it was New Year's Day. I think in 2019, right before COVID. And our family likes to play a lot of games, especially around the holidays when we're all gathered together. So we were just at the dinner table playing games together and started throwing around ideas for house rules that we could improve some of the games that we love. And then it kind of just evolved quickly into, well, why don't we make our own game? We got out some printer paper, we cut it up, used Sharpies right then and there and started playing with it. And it's not like that was the start of the business, but it had some kind of staying power and that we kept coming back to it and improving the game every time we were together and started playing with it more. And it eventually evolved into a business. But yeah,
I think there was a long time there where it was literally just Sharpie-on-index-cards. It was more vision than game for quite a while.
I see. And when did the Kickstarter actually happen? I guess, let me go back a little bit. So from the idea to running the Kickstarter, how long did that took you? Because I think everyone have, different journey.
it was a couple of years.
Because I would say like we were kind of building it out in 2020, but we didn't do a Kickstarter till 2023. So
okay.
it took a few years before we actually launched the Kickstarter from when we initially started working on things. But there were a couple rounds of edits that Andrew did to all the character art, which obviously we think paid off. The game looks great in our opinion. But
I see.
Yeah, it got to a point a couple of times where it was like, okay, I think it's like pretty good. Maybe we could launch this soon. And then I just decided wasn't good enough. Scrapped all the art.
Restart. I see. Yeah, but I think you had a pretty successful Kickstarter. How many months were you preparing before you launched the campaign?
We launched in April, and I would say 4 to 6 months in advance of that. I mean, we were obviously working on the game and the expansions before any of this, but like truly working on the Kickstarter campaign, it was like a solid 4 to 6 months in advance of that. And just trying to get everything kind of put together between like the tiers and what our stretch goals might be and trying to get any kind of marketing out in front of it that we possibly could.
Yeah, and like Thane said, we did launch with expansions. Yeah, the Kickstarter 2 expansions, and they were designed to really change the way the game is played. So it was almost like we were launching 3 games at once. So development did take a long time, but I think worth it.
Yeah,
I see. Can you kind of also walk through the different strategy you try marketing wise that was effective and which one wasn't effective, so we can kind of learn from your experience?
Yeah. So I think one of the things we did pre-Kickstarter campaign was we actually made like, I forget if it was 50 or 100 prototype copies of the game, and looked very similar to the finished product. It was just a prototype version that we could send out to influencers early on, just smaller kind of gaming influencers that were open to getting a free game, trying it out, and got it to them and just had them mark it in like the month leading up to our campaign and then as well as during.
Yeah.
I feel like that was really helpful just to kind of get the word out there, and a handful of different spaces from all the small influencers. Another thing is, like we said, we started working on it in like 2020. We definitely weren't the fastest team to get to the Kickstarter. But because of that, we had a lot of family and friends that knew about it ahead of time, and we're almost so our little micro influencers for
Oh, I
just
see.
helping get the word out. So
That's helpful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you also running meta ads leading up to the campaign?
We were, and we had hired a third-party company to help us with all of that and to gather emails to build our list leading up to it. And, we were just talking about this. I would classify that as a mixed success, really. It did build the number of names on our email list, but when we actually went through the data, not a lot of that converted.
Okay.
So,
I see.
and it was pretty expensive to hire them. So I don't know how helpful it was or was not, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think that's a common situation when I talk to so many people. And I also did a Kickstarter myself for one of my toy, because I also own a toy company. After all the dust settled, the amount of marketing we put in is almost just the same amount of how much we raised. At the end, so
exactly.
it's like, was it actually profitable or not? But it was a good learning experience. It's still good to get the
Right.
name out there. But I think for some of the pre-launch activity, like getting the list that you mentioned, I know this is kind of a controversial topic, actually. I know some people like to actually get a small deposit, like $1 deposit. Have you considered doing that? Because I know some company I talked to actually had a really successful pre-launch campaign. The people that say they're going to actually back because they paid this, like it's called like a micro transaction. So they actually pay $1 just to join the early bird list. Was that part of the strategy, or you were just a regular op-ed?
Yeah, just regular.
Yeah.
We're not that sophisticated.
I see.
Honestly, still aren't that sophisticated. But
I see. I was actually speaking with Launchboom because that's what they specialize in. They specialize in Kickstarter, and I have one of their director on my show. He was saying that if you actually get like deposit from the backer, they are 3 times more likely to actually back the campaign instead of just saying that they're going to back it. Because even so, it's only $1, but they are kind of invested, with
Right.
$1. So
That makes sense.
okay, but looking back at the Kickstarter scenes, like how will you do it differently if you do it again?
that's a really interesting question that I think we debate all the time, because we did a lot of things that I think lent to our success,
Yeah.
but also made it really difficult after we were successful.
Okay.
We had a lot of different tiers of backer option, and we had a lot of products. We had, the base game, 2 expansions, we had pins, playmat, all that kind of thing. And it was really hard to develop all of that and get it made after.
Yeah.
And maybe we would simplify in the future. But on the flip side, like one of the things we did that I think was really successful that I would do again, is we had like a very expensive top tier backer.
I see.
In which I would custom illustrate you or whatever you wanted as a character in the game.
Oh, okay.
When it finally comes out. So that was great because it allowed 10 people to actually get in the game for the final production, and people were invested and wanted to be part of something cool.
I see.
That was a very expensive tier. It was $750.
Okay.
And that really helped us get to our goal like quickly because there were some people who wanted to do that.
I see. Okay. That's actually a very interesting strategy to get, your audience and your customer more invest into the whole kind of a process. But that also, like you mentioned, it requires a lot more work on your end as well to get that into the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to touch on kind of what Andrew was talking about with simplifying a bit, we really liked the idea of having all the different versions of our game, because we had just like the base version. And then, like he said, we have 2 expansions. And with each of those expansions, we made like a new box with custom artwork and then like basically a new version with the expansions in it. And it was cool. It was fun. But it also ended up being decently more expensive to produce those because we weren't producing quite as many of them as the base game. So it worked out in the end, but if we were going to simplify in the future, we might just make one Kickstarter edition, even if the game has expansions, and just kind of tie those in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or we've seen other companies do, it's the same standard box, and then there's like a sleeve that's Kickstarter exclusive or something. I think we would simplify it in some way like that.
Yeah, that's a lot easier for productions and manufacturing as well. So, and for those audience that did never seen your game before, I know you have a demo next to you. Can you also kind of explain how the game is being played, what is inside, and like just a rule?
Sure. So there's three main card types in the game. There's farmers, aliens, and then a variety of different animal herds. So the whole concept of the game is you're kind of building animal herds throughout the game. They all have different point values. You're either building them yourself or you're stealing herds from your opponents. And yep, that's a B right there. And if you get all 8 of an animal type, they achieve Herdvana. They're then locked in your field for the rest of the game and their bonus points.
Okay.
And as you're kind of building and stealing herds throughout the game, you can protect them with farmers to prevent other people from stealing them, or you can use your own aliens to abduct your opponent's farmer to try to steal their herds.
I see. Okay.
And that's the general concept of the game. It's pretty simple overall, but there's definitely a little bit of strategy in there. But inevitable chaos as you're kind of forced to use the cards that you're dealt with.
Okay. And how many player you recommended?
So 2 to 10, 2 to 6 individually, and then 6 to 10 in teams. And if you're playing in teams, you kind of play opposite your teammate. And you can't really tell each other what you've got in your hand. So it gets to be a little bit fun because you kind of almost have to read your teammate's mind in a way.
I see. So how do you win at the end? You need to collect 10 to...
So you play until all cards are off the table. And then whoever has the most points in their field at the end of the game, whether it's from animals, achieving Herdvanas, or having farmers on the table.
Okay. So
because they all have different point values assigned to them as well.
Point value. Okay.
Yeah.
I see. What would you say is some of the biggest struggle that you face running this business or starting this business together?
You don't know what you don't know. And we didn't know this business at all. So kind of stumbling through it blind, but
yeah.
We talked about it, and that's also kind of a benefit because you're not tied down to the way things are typically done. You can kind of innovate a little bit, and while that you do make costly mistakes sometimes, you can also do things differently than they've been done in the past, which is kind of nice. I don't know. It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
I see. For sure. And one thing I noticed talking to so many different people in the industry is a lot of the companies tend to lose traction after the Kickstarter campaign because they were so focused on Kickstarter. They raised all this money, then nothing happened after that. I guess there's no marketing activity anymore after the Kickstarter campaign. How do you guys tackle that as far as marketing wise? Because I think marketing is always a challenge for all the small and mid-sized companies. Like what approach are you still doing right now? What is working and what didn't work?
I would say that's something we are definitely still struggling with at the moment. Yeah, we put a lot of effort behind the Kickstarter campaign, and then the traction has definitely slipped since then.
Yeah,
we're definitely still reaching out to smaller influencers, probably not as much as we did pre-Kickstarter. And we've been going around to, a good handful of local game shops, just trying to get through the door. But even that has been a bit of a struggle too, to get in touch with the people that are in charge of purchasing at the store.
Retail is a whole different ballgame. If you also look at it from the retail store owner perspective, they prefer to work with distributor that they can just purchase 30, 50, 100 different titles instead of working with individual publisher. Then they can only buy one title at a time. It's really hard to build a store that way. And is there any moment during the campaign or production where you feel like that was like the project might not be successful? Is there any learning moment that you would like to share?
I don't think during the campaign or production. Like Thane said, we had a pretty good community base built up before the Kickstarter, so we felt it was going to be successful, and we were fully funded in less than 4 hours. So we knew pretty quickly that it was. And then production, we knew it was going to happen because we had the funding from Kickstarter. So it was just going to be a matter of seeing it through. I'd say the struggle has come afterwards. Everything like Thane has been talking about, figuring out how to do marketing, which neither of us have backgrounds in or skill sets in. It's just the two of us, so we're really figuring it out as we go. Yeah, it's been more after the fact, trying to figure out how to keep this thing going,
Yeah, plus it helps, like, we started 4 to 6 months in advance of the Kickstarter, building the Kickstarter, and then before that, we had like 2 years basically of building the game. So I feel like we had such a long runway that the campaign wasn't the biggest of our concerns when we went into it. Maybe call it overconfidence.
Optimism.
Better word.
I would say we're like kind of almost in a similar pre-campaign building phase right now for the company for like the long haul. We're working on building all of our, our media presence, working on fixing our listings on different online marketplaces, revamping our website. We're doing all of that kind of stuff right now, which feels very, very similar to how it did leading up to launching on Kickstarter.
I see. And follow-up question, how do you two divide the role? Who does what?
It's kind of wherever there's availability. Andrew is
Okay.
obviously the visualization of the business in terms of like what the game looks like, what our website looks like, what our emails look like, and all that. And just, I guess, to quickly touch on our backgrounds, I'm an analyst and Andrew's an
Mhm.
architect, so and an
Okay.
artist. So wherever it more naturally fits, that's usually how we divide things up. But it's also kind of, there's only two of us, so if I have to jump in on something more creatively focused, I will. And we're both involved in making the games. So, and then if Andrew has to jump in on something more technically focused that I don't have time for, it just wherever it falls is kind of
Yeah.
how it's been going.
I see. Got it. Looking in the future, in 1, 3, and 5 year ahead, what is the vision for the company? Where do you want to take this company to? And are you like trying to publish more titles in the upcoming years, or what are some of the things ahead?
Definitely, we want to publish more titles in the future. We have, I don't know, maybe a half dozen ideas that we think are pretty solid, but we really feel we need to get our legs under us with Herdvana first. So we're focusing all of our energy on that. And as soon as we feel like that's at a stable place, I think we'll pursue launching other titles.
Okay. I see. And right now, are you also working on expansion for Herdvana right now? Like any additional expansion that's not part of the Kickstarter?
No, and I don't know if we're going to do any more expansions for Herdvana, to be honest, outside of just additional cards with, interesting artwork. But we designed our expansions to be playable together, like you can build on each other.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's already to a point where it's sufficiently complex with the two expansions and don't really want to go further than that. So, yeah.
I see.
Yeah, I think anything else we do with Herdvana would be maybe more merch based if we ended up doing any kind of like sticker or shirt or something.
Okay. Got it. And are you going to any other trade shows? What is the marketing strategy going forward?
Yeah, so we've actually been going to a handful of local just markets, kind of just generic ones, gift ones, now that we're around the holidays and stuff. And we've actually got a couple coming up in the next week and a half that we'll be at. And then in terms of trade shows, like bigger ones, we're still trying to map that out for 2026 to see which ones we're going to be at. But we definitely have plans to be at some.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say we did get invited based off of our Kickstarter to the San Diego Comic-Con to
Okay.
demo our game, which was really like incredible and awesome opportunity.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we did go and do that the year directly following.
Yeah.
And we haven't been able to make it back since.
Okay.
Even, with them supplying tickets for us, it's quite the expense to get out there and bring a team and bring all your materials and everything like that. So
Yeah.
we're still figuring that out. We will be back at some point. We still have a good relationship with them. So yeah.
I see. Yeah. I mean, going to trade show is never going to be cheap. But you get involved getting the things over there, getting you there, traveling and all that. But okay. As we're kind of wrapping up today's interview here, if you have to share one piece of advice with someone that's just getting started within the toys and game industry, what would that be?
I mean, more than anything, you have to believe in what you're bringing to the table. I kind of joked about overconfidence before our Kickstarter campaign. Me and Andrew have been working on Herdvana for years at this point, and we would have never gotten to where we are today if neither one of us believed that we had something great beforehand. And there have been multiple times where it's like, it'd be so easy to just stop working on this.
Yeah.
But the only thing that keeps us going is the fact that we think we have a fantastic game, and we really do believe in it. And we want people to be able to play it. So that's what I would say.
I see.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was like a key foundational principle, I guess, of us even forming a business and legitimizing this. It was like, an honors conversation where we sat at a table across from each other and was like, okay, how far are you willing to go on this? Like, you're not going to give up, right? Like, you're in. And, we both said, yep. And so we're still trying. We're still going at it.
Yeah. And actually, I have one follow-up question on that. In the early part of your journey, I know a lot of the designer or entrepreneur I talk to, there is a decision you need to make on whether or not you're going to go self-publishing or you pitch your idea to a bigger publisher. Have you considered the other options? If so, what made you decide to go with self-publishing route at the end?
I don't think we ever really considered publishing under anyone else. We wanted to do this the entrepreneurial way and start our own company and do our own thing. And that's not to say that we would not consider selling to somebody in the future. Possibly. That's always, part of the discussion. It just depends how things works out. But we wanted to start this and run this on our own from the start.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
And I mean, just to tack on to that, I think that was also us just wanting to understand the business to the fullest too, of like, if we have to publish this ourselves, we have to go through the entire process ourselves. So, maybe there's the opportunity for that in the future with another game that we make, but having to own the entire process for Herdvana forced us to learn as much as we could along the way.
Yeah. I mean, like Thane said, we believed in this and wanted this to work, but it was also kind of like, well, if it doesn't work, we're going to get a master's degree in figuring out how to do this kind of thing, and we'll get it on the next one type thing. So we definitely went into it thinking, let's learn everything we can. Yeah.
For sure. I think that is the best way to learn. And actually, it will help you if you do want to license your product in the future, because you understand kind of the logistic. You'll be a lot easier to negotiate too.
Yeah.
Right.
That's involved. So definitely. Okay. So for our audience that's interested to learn a little bit about your companies, where is the best place for people to find you online?
So that's just going to be at our website. So herdvana.com, and then just Herdvana is our tagline for any of our social media as well.
I see. Okay. Thank you
And
so
I'm
much.
going to spell it for you because a lot of times our D is silent, but it's Herdvana, Herdvana. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for the clarification. We'll make sure we put that in the show note. And thank you again for both of your time today, this morning, to share your journey with our audience, and hopefully wish you for all the upcoming success for the business.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks for having us on.
And for our audience, thank you for tuning in for this episode of Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We hope you have enjoyed today's conversation and find it insightful and inspiring. If you like what you have heard, be sure to subscribe on the favorite podcast platform so you never miss an episode. We'll also love it if you can leave us a review and share the podcast with your friend and colleague. It really helps us to grow and reach more toys and game creators like yourself. Want to keep the conversation going? Please also join our free Facebook community, Toys and Games Launchpad, where toys and game entrepreneurs can connect, share ideas, and get exclusive resources. Feel free to check that out at toy-launch.com/group. For more tips, resources, and the latest update within the toys and game industry, feel free to visit our website at toy-launch.com. Until next time, keep innovating, keep creating, keep bringing joys to toys. This is Jason Hsieh signing off from the Toy Business Unboxed podcast. We'll see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.